You'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. I hope that you'll forgive me if I'm a little angry that we are indifferent to his erratic behavior, his obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon.
That being president isn't anything like reality TV. It is not an apprenticeship. And it is not just about fiery speeches or insulting tweets. It's about whether someone can handle the awesome responsibility of leading this country.
Hold up. Michelle Obama just delivered a verbal smackdown to Donald Trump that's got everyone talking. In a moment of pure eloquence, she called him a weak man. And let's just say, Trump's reaction was nothing short of a digital meltdown. His rants escalated into incoherent all-caps tirades, leaving his staff scrambling to hide the ketchup bottles. You won't believe the chaos that ensued. Get ready for the ultimate political showdown. Michelle's serving truth and Trump's losing it.
We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
Before we move on, smash that like button and subscribe, because you know you don't want to miss out on this one. Trump's obsession with the Obamas is like a never-ending sequel that nobody asked for. No matter how many times he claims he's moved on, the second Michelle speaks, he's back at it, foaming at the mouth, scrambling to discredit her like it's his full-time job. It's almost impressive how someone who supposedly won so much spends this much time bitter over the fact that people actually liked his predecessor.
We have a candidate for president who over the course of his lifetime, in the course of this campaign, has said things about women that are so shocking that I simply will not repeat anything here today. It has shaken me to my core in a way that I couldn't have predicted. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior and actually bragging about kissing and groping women, using language so obscene that many of us were worried about our children hearing it when we turn on the TV.
The real kicker, Michelle Obama doesn't have to insult him, mock him, or even acknowledge his existence. Just her being in the room, exuding grace, intelligence, and actual credibility is enough to send him spiraling. Imagine spending your whole life trying to be adored, only to realize that your biggest rival doesn't even need to try. While Trump shouts into the void about rigged elections and unfair treatment, Michelle just glides past him, securing book deals, Netflix partnerships, and the kind of respect he couldn't buy even if he threw all his remaining campaign funds at it.
I am sick of all the chaos and the nastiness of our politics. It's exhausting, and frankly, it's depressing. So I understand wanting to shut it all out.
And the best part? She doesn't even break a sweat. Because at the end of the day, she knows one simple truth. Nothing infuriates Trump more than a woman who refuses to crumble under his fragile ego. Trump's entire persona thrives on validation, yet the one person who effortlessly commands global admiration without seeking it drives him up the wall. It's almost poetic. While he's out there whining about unfair treatment on social media, Michelle is busy doing things that actually matter, like empowering young women, fighting for education, and casually reminding the world what real leadership looks like. And the best part? She does it all with the kind of ease that makes Trump's forced bravado look even more ridiculous.
With your support on November 5th, you know what's nasty to me? Michelle Obama. She was, I always tried to be so nice and respectful. Oh, she opened up a little bit of a box. She opened up a little bit of something. Oh, she was nasty. Ooh. Shouldn't be that way. That was a big mistake that she made.
Every time she gives a speech about compassion or resilience, Trump acts like she's reading his worst Yelp review live on television. His reaction isn't just insecurity, it's full-blown panic. He knows that no matter how many rallies he holds, how many caps he slaps slogans on, or how many times he pretends to care about the people, he'll never have what Michelle has: credibility. The irony is that while Trump constantly demands loyalty and praise, Michelle simply earns it. People don't need to be convinced to respect her, they just do. And that reality, it's one Trump will never accept. Because deep down, he knows that no matter how loud he yells, Michelle Obama will always outshine him without even trying.
These last 8 years, in his first term alone, Barack had to rescue our economy from the worst crisis since the Great Depression. He had to make the call to take out Osama bin Laden, respond to devastating natural disasters like Hurricane Sandy, and so much more. So when it comes to the qualifications we should demand in a president, to start with, we need someone who'll take the job seriously.
It's a tale as old as 2016. Trump sees someone with actual intelligence, dignity, and global respect. And suddenly, he's on a social media rampage like a teenager grounded from his Xbox. But Michelle, she's a different level of infuriating for him. She's everything he's not: respected, accomplished, and most importantly, unbothered by his existence. And that last part? Oh, that's the real kicker. Trump thrives on attention, whether it's love or hate, but Michelle doesn't even grant him the courtesy of acknowledgement. She doesn't waste time engaging in petty spats or tantrums. She simply speaks facts, drops the mic, and walks away while Trump is left foaming at the mouth, furiously typing out his latest all-caps rant. And the worst part for him? Michelle doesn't just have admirers, she has legacy-defining influence. While Trump's supporters need constant reassurance that he's still relevant, Michelle's impact is self-sustaining. She's out here shaping policy, leading initiatives, and setting the bar for grace under pressure while Trump struggles to remember which of his lawsuits he's supposed to be in court for next. No matter how many times he tries to rewrite history, Michelle remains the ultimate reminder of everything he will never be.
If you remember when I met with Obama, his wife was very nasty to me the other day. That was not nice. She was very nasty. She said nasty things. I was always very respectful of her, but she got up there, which shows you how nervous they are about what's happening. But she was nasty 2 days ago. She got up and said some bad things she shouldn't have said. They were wrong, too.
To you, those folks just aren't very smart and seem somehow less deserving. And if you think this way, then it's easy to see this country as us versus them.
And let's be real, those rage posts are where the true comedy gold happens. He'll throw out wild all-caps declarations that sound like a malfunctioning robot, programmed to scream about fake news. Sometimes he even drags in random celebrities, politicians, or a completely unrelated topic just to see what sticks. 1 minute he's ranting about Michelle Obama, and the next he's somehow blaming low shower pressure or the price of hamburgers for his downfall. But the best part? No matter how many times he denies, deflects, and tantrums his way through the internet, the reality remains the same. Michelle Obama doesn't even acknowledge his existence. She's out there doing actual work, writing bestsellers, and inspiring millions, while Trump is somewhere in a Mar-a-Lago banquet hall shouting into a microphone about how unfairly he's been treated. And the cycle repeats itself like a bad sitcom rerun. He takes the bait every single time, proving once again that no matter how much power, money, or gold-plated furniture he surrounds himself with, he still can't handle being outclassed by someone who doesn't even have to try. It's a masterclass in effortless dominance. And Trump? Well, he's just giving the world another meltdown to laugh at.
And Michelle hit me the other day. I was so nice to her. Out of respect, I was so nice. She hit me the other day. I was going to say to my people, am I allowed to hit her now? They said, take it easy, sir. Sir, take it easy. My geniuses, I'm telling you, they said, just take it easy. Oh, what do you mean? She said bad about me. I can't hit back? Sir, you're winning. Just relax.
All caps, extra exclamation marks, completely unhinged. It's like watching a toddler throw a tantrum in a luxury high chair. The funniest part? His followers eat it up. They rally behind him as he spirals, completely unaware that the more he screams into the void, the more he proves Michelle. Into the void, the more he proves Michelle right. The contrast between Michelle Obama and Trump is so stark it could be an instructional video on leadership versus reality TV drama. Michelle carries herself with dignity, delivering speeches that inspire generations. Trump's idea of public speaking is yelling about ratings and imaginary accomplishments while struggling to pronounce words with more than 2 syllables. Michelle wrote a best-selling memoir that people actually read. Trump launched a blog that lasted fewer weeks than a carton of milk. Michelle built initiatives that uplift communities. Trump's big contribution to society? Making red hats terrifying. And let's not forget Melania, poor Melania, who looks like she's permanently trying to astral project herself out of her own marriage. If Michelle represents a first lady with grace, Melania represents a woman who clearly has an escape plan, but just needs to wait for the right moment.
I want to know, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
And let's be real, those rage posts are where the true comedy gold happens. He'll throw out wild, all-caps declarations that sound like a malfunctioning robot programmed to scream about fake news. Sometimes he even drags in random celebrities, politicians, or a completely unrelated topic just to see what sticks. One minute he's ranting about Michelle Obama, and the next he's somehow blaming low shower pressure or the price of hamburgers for his downfall. But the best part? No matter how many times he denies, deflects, and tantrums his way through the internet, the reality remains the same. Michelle Obama doesn't even acknowledge his existence. She's out there doing actual work, writing bestsellers, and inspiring millions, while Trump is somewhere in a Mar-a-Lago banquet hall shouting into a microphone about how unfairly he's been treated. And the cycle repeats itself like a bad sitcom rerun. He takes the bait every single time, proving once again that no matter how much power, money, or gold-plated furniture he surrounds himself with, he still can't handle being outclassed by someone who doesn't even have to try. It's a masterclass in effortless dominance. And Trump? Well,
I noticed that you went back to the White House recently. You haven't been back.
No.
Since
Wasn't invited.
Ooh, shade.
You know, that's a tradition. You do your official portraits. The next president is supposed to invite you back to hang them. We were never invited back. So these pictures have been done for a long time.
how about when he plays the victim? Oh, Trump loves nothing more than pretending he's being attacked, even when someone is simply stating facts. He'll claim the media is out to get him, that the Obamas are plotting against him, and that he's the real victim here. The irony? He built his entire brand on winning, yet somehow manages to whine more than anyone else. And when it comes to the strategy of redirecting, since addressing criticism is off the table, Trump will immediately pivot. Maybe he brings up Biden, Hillary, or in a desperate move, claims Obama did something in 2008 that the media covered up. The goal? Confuse his base enough that they forget what they were talking about in the first place. See, no matter how bad it gets, Trump will always find a way to convince himself he won. Michelle Obama just obliterated him in front of millions. Fake news. People are laughing at him. They're secretly jealous. His approval ratings are lower than expired yogurt. Lies. In his mind, reality is just an inconvenience that can be ignored with enough caps lock and exclamation points.
Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy, don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy?
Michelle Obama isn't just a former first lady. She's a symbol of what actual leadership looks like. Trump, on the other hand, is a cautionary tale. Every time Michelle speaks, she reminds the world that dignity, intelligence, and kindness are qualities of real leaders. And every time Trump responds, he reminds the world why he was a one-term president who lost by millions. At the end of the day, this isn't just another petty feud. It's a reflection of something deeper. Michelle represents the future, progress, integrity, and the idea that leadership is about service, not self-promotion. Trump, he represents the past, clinging to his golden toilet while screaming about witch hunts. And that, folks, is why Michelle Obama wins every time. Not because she's trying to, but because simply being herself is enough to make Trump unravel in real time. But let's rewind a bit and delve deeper into the saga that is the Trump-Obama feud. A tale as old as time, or at least as old as Twitter. It all began when a certain real estate mogul with a penchant for gold-plated everything decided to question the legitimacy of the first black president. Yes, we're talking about the birther movement, that delightful conspiracy theory suggesting Barack Obama wasn't born in the United States. Leading the charge was none other than Donald J. Trump, a man who never met a...
The anticipation, the energy, the exhilaration of once again being on the cusp of a brighter day. The chance to vanquish the demons of fear, division, and hate that have consumed us and continue pursuing the unfinished promise of this great nation.
Fast forward to 2016, and Trump is running for president, much to the chagrin of anyone with a functioning prefrontal cortex. Michelle Obama, ever the beacon of class and composure, takes to the campaign trail to support Hillary Clinton. She delivers a series of speeches that are equal parts inspiring and scathing, all without once lowering herself to the mudslinging that had become the hallmark of the Trump campaign. One such speech, delivered in New Hampshire, addresses the infamous Access Hollywood tape, where Trump is heard bragging about his ability to sexually assault women. Michelle doesn't mince words, expressing her shock and disgust and reminding us all that the measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls. It's a powerful moment, made all the more so by the fact that she manages to convey her message without once mentioning Trump's name. Trump, of course, responds in the only way he knows how, by attacking. He accuses Michelle of giving one of the most divisive speeches I've ever heard, a statement so rich in irony it could give you gout. He goes on to suggest that she should watch her husband because he's got some pretty big problems. It's a classic Trump move: deflect, distract, and demean.
Understand that the measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
The sitting president, Mr. Trump, thinks your candidacy is an aberration or a joke.
I don't think he does at all. I tell you what, if I would have run 4 years ago, he wouldn't be president right now. I don't think he thinks it at all. You know, it's very interesting. It's very interesting with President Obama. Going to go down to one of the worst presidents in the history of this country. He has been a disaster on the military. You look at we can't beat ISIS.
I mean, the truth of the matter is actually Trump hasn't gotten a lot. He's torn some stuff down. There's no law that he's passed that is transformative in this country. He passed a tax cut to give away some more money to rich folks, which Republicans have been doing that for years. But you can't name a piece of legislation that he's done that has actually changed the country, even for his own constituencies. So it's always easier to tear down than build up.
But Michelle Obama is nothing if not resilient. She continues to advocate for decency and integrity, using her platform to inspire and uplift. Her memoir, Becoming, becomes a bestseller, resonating with millions who find solace and inspiration in her words. She reminds us all that when they go low, we go high, a mantra that seems more relevant now than ever. In contrast, Trump's post-presidency has been marked by a desperate cling to relevance. Banned from major social media platforms, he launches his own blog, a venture that lasts about as long as a carton of milk.
I love nothing more than to pretend like this isn't happening and to come out here and do my normal campaign speech. It would be dishonest and disingenuous to me to just move on to the next thing like this was all just a bad dream. This is not something that we can ignore. It's not something we can just sweep under the rug as just another disturbing footnote in a sad election season. Because this was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior.
He continues to hold rallies, speaking to dwindling crowds about imagined grievances and stolen elections. It's a sad spectacle, made all the more so by the fact that he seems blissfully unaware of his own irrelevance. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama continues to thrive. Her podcast, the Michelle Obama Podcast, garners critical acclaim and a loyal following. She and Barack sign a multi-year production deal with Netflix, producing content that is both entertaining and thought-provoking. She remains a beloved figure, admired for her intelligence, grace, and authenticity. The contrast between the two couldn't be more stark. On one hand, you have a man whose legacy is defined by division and deceit. On the other, a woman whose legacy is one of unity and truth. It's a reminder that character matters, that integrity matters, and that, in the end, history remembers those who stood on the right side of it.